Welcome to the show, everyone. Support comes from ZBiotics. Listen, I have to tell you about something that I actually use before a night out with drinks. It is called ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol. And here's why it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into this toxic byproduct right in your gut. That buildup, not dehydration, is what makes you feel rough the next day. Well, ZBiotics is a probiotic that was created by PhD scientists, and it produces an enzyme to break that byproduct down. I use it before my first drink, especially when I know I have an early morning or a long day coming. One bottle, first drink of the night, that's it. Drink responsibly and feel clear the next day, okay? So just remember to drink responsibly. Go to zbiotics.com/lemon. Use the code LEMON for 15% off of your first order. They offer a 100% money-back guarantee, no questions asked. That is zbiotics.com/lemon. Use the code LEMON for 15% off. Now, let's get started. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Don Lemon Show. I hope you had a great weekend and that you got to be with your family, spend some quality time, get into the holiday spirit, and then get back to it on this Monday morning. So thank you so much. Lemon heads. Thank you so much. So it's hard for me to be like really jovial and upbeat this morning because of the news. It's really tough. So let's just be honest. So yeah, sad about Rob and his wife. Someone said ink. It went past me, but the first thing is ink. I'm so sorry about that. And the shooting at Brown and the shooting in Australia. And it just makes me sad. And it really makes me, all of this is connected. We have a lot of anger in this country, have a lot of division, and certainly the person who's the president of the country is not helping. And I'm going to show you that. Just this vile, he's a vile, nasty human being. Really, really, really nasty. I think that's, before I get into it, I just want to show this because I'm going to talk about all these issues. I'm going to talk about, dealing with addiction, with mental health, drug abuse, the issues around gun violence, anti-Semitism, hate, all of those things. But when you're in times like this, you want people who are going to lift people up, try to bring us together. And this is the first story I'm going to talk about is Rob Reiner, but I'm going to put it all together. And if you can, do we have a statement, Peter? Can we get a statement from Barack Obama? I think there's a statement from Barack Obama on some of this stuff.
I'll look.
And then I think there's one for the Reiners, if there is one. But I just want to show, and by the way, my heart goes out to Rob Reiner, all of his, the people who loved him. He's been in our lives forever. He's in my life since I was a kid. I remember watching All in the Family. He was a staple on All in the Family. And this was back in the day when like TV stars were like huge stars. I mean, huge stars because there were only 3 stations. And I learned so much because it was a Norman Lear show. And we all learned a lot from Norman Lear and the programs that he put on. And that was All in the Family. And he was Michael Stivic on All in the Family. Excuse me, with was it Sally Struthers, not Bernadette Peters? I always get those two confused. And and Gene Stapleton and Archie Bunker, and it was just and it's just sad. And my heart also goes out to all of the families and the kids who are involved in what happened at Brown University. It's just, I can't. Some of these kids are being re-traumatized. We're going to tell you about two kids who were involved in that. Also survived high school shootings. And then in Australia, my heart goes out to Jewish families and my Jewish friends in the world who are dealing with anti-Semitism. And this was nothing but anti-Semitism, if you look at the details of it. And then we're going to talk about the hero, because a lot of people don't step in anymore and help. They just shoot video or run away and just let things happen. And so yeah, it was a tough weekend. And I didn't really, I heard about the shooting. I didn't really dial in because I think I always tell you need a mental health break, because I think how I feel about mental health, taking the stigma off of it. So I'm going to show you the difference real quick, and then I'm going to tell you about the stories. This is what Donald Trump posted after Rob Reiner died, after he was murdered. This is what Donald Trump put. Okay. And this is a person who's supposed to be bringing us together. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured, struggling, but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife, Michele, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, and with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. And with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michele rest in peace. You know what, Donald Trump, fuck you. Just fuck all the way off. What an asshole and a small-minded, small dick shit to do. Like, you have no couth. You are an immature child. You are a bigot, a fucking racist, and a small penis asshole. Yeah, I said that. Just hateful and delusional. And you have the nerve to be upset because people were critical of Charlie Kirk's, what he said before he died, how he talked about black people and women and all, and you have the nerve to be all up in arms about that. Just fuck all the way off. That just shows me that you were just grifting off of Charlie Kirk's death, that you don't give a shit about respecting someone when they die. You don't care. You care about yourself. And you are preaching and promoting hate. It's just vile. It makes me sick that you are president of the United States. It's embarrassing. You are an embarrassment to this country. It's just gross. I don't even know how else. I mean, it's just, I hate to even say it. Like, I hate to even say your name. I don't even like to hear your voice. It's so gross. It sounds like you're vomiting when you talk. Everything is like that. And you wonder where all the hate comes from in this country. It comes from you. You are the promoter of hate in this country, the example of it. And you expect people to respect you when you have no respect for other people and zero respect for the office that you hold. And so I'm giving you the same energy that you give others. That's how I feel about it. Fuck you, piece of shit. Rob Reiner can't say it. I'm going to say it for him. This is what a real president posted. This is from Barack Obama. Michele and I are heartbroken by the tragic passing of Rob Reiner and his beloved wife, Michele. Rob's achievements in film and television gave us some of our most cherished stories on screen. But beneath all of the stories he produced was a deep belief in the goodness of people and a long-time commitment to putting that belief into action. Together, he and his wife lived their lives defined by purpose. They will be remembered for the values they championed and the countless people they inspired. We send our deepest condolences to all who love them. Thank you, President Barack Obama, forever president. Our always thank you, honey, as you said, forever president. The only person, excuse me, the president who released a statement, like a human statement. Take some lessons. You want to know why people love Barack Obama and they hate you? Just look at the difference in how you respond to this and how you responded. You are an asshole. He is a president. You are a small man who used hate, capitalized on hate and separation, divisiveness, bigotry, racism, sexism, the worst inclinations of the human existence. You used that to catapult yourself into office. And people bought the bullshit that you were a smart president. You're not smart. You're dumb as fuck. You're fat as fuck. You look like you're about to keel over. And the hate is just oozing out of your pores. I can't even, because other people won't say it. They're just going to sugarcoat it, right? Rob Reiner can't say it. Barack Obama won't say it because he's a better person than I am. But I'll say it. You're a fat piece of ugly, small dick shit. Now let's get into the news. Make sure you hit the like and hit the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Okay. So look, good morning, everybody. I got to be really, really honest with you right now, because it brings me no joy to tell you about these stories, to come here this morning and sit here and tell you about this breaking news that we had this morning. And we have a few big stories. I mentioned some of them. All of them are dark. All of them are unnecessary. All of them are things that didn't have to happen right now. And that's the part that really, really gets me. Because if we could just, not with this man, but if we could just come together just for a little bit, if we could find some basic common sense around guns, around hate, around mental health, around addiction, if we could take the stigma off of some of this, if we could stop worrying so much about what people are going to think if we admit something is wrong in our families, because we all have had people in our families. Everyone, you can't tell me. You've either dealt with it in your immediate family or someone else, and everybody's ashamed. They don't want to know. Oh, Barbara's daughter has, she's on those drugs. Okay, so maybe your child is too. It's not like some moral failure. Addiction is like any other disease. Some people happen to just fall to it. Some people are more susceptible to it, and it happens. And I think we should have a more empathy for people and to reach out to try to help people rather than judging them because of something. It's not a failure as a parent. It's not a failure at anything. It just happens. Those things happen. And it's a disease. Some people are prone to it. I know there are people in my family, they can't have one beer. If they have one beer, they got to have 25. For me, I could have 5 beers and then not drink they could not make beer anymore and I wouldn't care. Same thing with alcohol or cigarettes or anything. I just don't have that. It's just not in me. And some people have it. Some people are prone to it. I remember when I was in college and we used to smoke clove cigarettes, and people would smoke, and I would smoke Marlboro Lights and whatever, and I could smoke a pack of cigarettes and then not smoke for 6 months. And then one day, it was just social smoking, kids. And then one day I woke up, I said, this is gross. And I just stopped it. Never, no desire, nothing. And some people can do that and others can't. It's just something in their DNA or their brains or their psyche, their makeup, that they have an addictive personality. Okay. So let's deal with that. And let's not judge. So, and if we did all that, maybe we wouldn't have such mental health issues. And maybe if we weren't so divisive, maybe if we weren't talking shit about people all the time, Donald Trump, instead of looking in the mirror at your fat, funky ass, maybe we could be better and stop some of this stuff. Maybe we wouldn't be waking up to this bullshit, because none of this feels inevitable. It feels like it's preventable. So let's talk about what is actually happening this morning. And I want to start with Rob Reiner. And here's a report from NBC News.
Yeah, here in Brentwood this morning, this investigation just getting started. And in fact, less than a block behind me, you can see that the crime scene unit remains just in front of the home that authorities say belonged to Rob Reiner and his wife. That is the location where firefighters were initially dispatched Sunday afternoon. Shortly thereafter, they called for LAPD, and it was inside that home that police confirmed they found the body of a 78-year-old man and a woman. A source close to the family confirming it was indeed Hollywood legend Rob Reiner and his wife. As for where the investigation goes from here, LAPD is saying very little at this time, saying that they do not have a suspect or person of interest, and they're letting the investigators scour this scene in hopes of learning more about what took place. The cause of death, officially, we're still awaiting to hear from the coroner. However, a source close to the family says that both were apparently suffering from multiple stab wounds. As far as the scene here in Brentwood, this scene very much closed off. We do anticipate hearing from investigators at some point later today in hopes of learning much more. The Reiner family did release a statement overnight asking for privacy during this incredibly difficult time. As for the 78-year-old Reiner, he was a legend of Hollywood, the son of another Hollywood legend, of course, that being Carl Reiner. But Rob Reiner is successful in his own right, both as an actor, writer, and director, known for beloved movies such as When Harry Met Sally, The Princess Bride, and A Few Good Men. As for what could be potentially behind the death of both Reiner and his wife. That is unknown at this hour, but a stunning loss in the Hollywood community here this morning. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, it really is a stunning loss. Right on about that. And so I don't know if you guys remember Carl Reiner. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a history lesson here, and then we're going to get back to it. But Carl Reiner was one of the, look, this was a television, this family was, they were television giants. Carl Reiner was one of the, I don't know if you call it recurring characters, and one of the main characters. I remember him from the Dick Van Dyke Show. And I mean, look, I'm not that old. I mean, Dick Van Dyke was on when it was reruns when I was a kid, but look, I know about television because I just watched a lot of television. But it was a Dick Van Dyke Show. Andy, I sent you something. Let me know if you can get it. And I'm going to show you who his dad was, and then you'll remember. And so he's one of those, comes from one of those families like Ben Stiller. You know, his parents were actors and just acting legends and giants. And then, you know, he became one as well. And I think he may have even, like, I don't know if he appeared in, gosh, what is this show? Oh, shoots. I can't think of the show. What is it? Alice to the Moon. What's the name of it? Anyways, that show, I think he was in that, but he was definitely a big player in the Dick Van Dyke Show. And he was great. The Honeymooners. That's it. It just came to me, The Honeymooners. But I think he may have been in some of the episodes of that. However, I mean, okay, got it. So anyways, we can't get the clip, but anyway, Carl Reiner was a huge act. So this is, the reason I'm saying this is because of who the person is, who is the person of interest here. Folks are not saying it, but it is his son. Right. That's who they say is a person of interest. And his son had some drug issues. Rob Reiner and his wife, Michele, were killed by their son. That's what People magazine is reporting. Okay. Again, that's according to People magazine. His name is Nick. And I'll get to that. But this one hits different because it hits differently. Rob Reiner has been in our lives for decades. I mean, decades. It's not just a name in a headline. I was surprised when people were like, who is Rob Reiner? I'm like, wait, are you kidding me? He's somebody who lived in our homes, in our TVs, in the movie theaters, in reruns, and quotes that we still repeat on the air. I mean, in our lives, when he was Meathead, right? And All in the Family, an actor, a director, a writer, storyteller. The guy in All in the Family, I think he wrote some of All in the Family. All in the Family. Here, play some All in the Family for me. This was Rob Reiner.
You know why we got to break down in law and order in this country, Archie? Because we got poverty, real poverty. And you know why we got that? Because guys like you are unwilling to give the black man, the Mexican American, and all the other minorities their just and rightful hard-earned share of the American dream.
Who said he wasn't smart? That's beautiful, Michael, beautiful.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Now, let me tell you something. If your spicks in your space want their rightful share of the American dream, let them get out there and hustle for it just like I did.
Yeah, but Archie, you're forgetting one thing. You didn't have to hustle with a black skin.
No, I didn't have to hustle with one arm and one leg neither. So what?
So you're admitting that the black man is handicapped.
Oh, no more than me. He's just as good as me.
Wait, now I suppose you're going to tell me that the black man has had the same opportunity in this country as you?
More. He's had more. I didn't have no million people out there marching and protesting to get me my job.
No, his uncle got it for him.
And we learned from television. That is what. Thank you, Norman Lear, and thank you very much, Rob Reiner, for that. And by the way, thank you for someone reminded me that his dad actually created one of the most iconic television shows in history, and that is the Dick Van Dyke Show. His dad created that show, and then also was a player on the show, and obviously was a writer on the show. I mean, just amazing, just an amazing family. So again, my heart goes out to them. But that's when TV like meant something. Back in the 70s, you guys watched All in the Family and Archie, and as much as you hated him, you learned from it. And there were lessons in there. There was a bigot in there that was something that was teachable. We have a bigot now who was on a television show and is now the president of the United States, but there's nothing teachable about it, except maybe if you want to teach your kids not to be like him, that he's the worst example of a human being ever. There's nothing that's enviable or that you want to emulate as, for Donald Trump. I would just, if I had kids, I would tell them, don't be like that person. So he's buying The Princess Bride, A Few Good Men, You Can Handle the Truth, Rob Reiner, and this classic moment from When Harry Met Sally.
Yes! 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 Oh! 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 Oh, God. Oh.
I'll have what she's having.
I believe it was on that set and that project where he met his wife, Michele. And also Stand By Me. Thank you, Katie. Where he met his wife, Michele. And she actually convinced him to change the ending to the movie. Spoiler alert, where Harry and Sally actually end up together, because that wasn't the original end of the movie. And she was right. And then they started a family from there. They got together and started a family from there. And that was Rob's mom. Thank you. You guys know stuff. People were asking me, I wonder if they're going to know. That was Rob's mom saying that I'll have what she's having in the movie. So just iconic. Movies and TV shows that shaped culture, how we talked about love and politics and friendship and justice. And so we didn't just watch Rob Reiner when we grew up. We grew up with Rob Reiner. That's like, I feel like I grew up with Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5, and Janet Jackson was on Good Times, but like all of these characters, I feel like I grew up with Kim Fields, who's now like a friend. It's so weird because I watched her as Tootie on Facts of Life, and then, and then other TV shows. And I was like, I feel like I grew up with her, and these are iconic people. Because again, this was a different age in television. This is 3 channels. So everybody watched, millions and millions, like tens of millions of people watched television shows at night. We all gathered around the television at a certain time. There was no DVR recording or anything like that, or you couldn't download it or link. You had to watch we called them commercials then, not the ad breaks. And now he and his wife were found dead in their home in Los Angeles. And police are treating this as a homicide. They are saying, you heard from the reports there. And according to the reporting, as I showed you from People magazine, their son is believed to be responsible for this. So that's why, look, obviously he had some issues. I would venture a guess to say mental issues, especially with addiction, because he admitted it. Rob Reiner and his son, I'm going to show you Rob Reiner and his son together in just a moment, because they worked on a project and they were both on a program and they talked about it together. But first, let me get a word in from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Graza. If you're still figuring out holiday gifts, let me make it really easy for you. Graza makes olive oil that actually is gift worthy. It's single origin, never blended, and made from fresh olives that are picked, pressed, and bottled in the same season. You can even see the harvest date on the bottle. Graza has ready-to-gift sets that make you look like you planned ahead for everything. Their dinner party pack comes with olive oil for cooking and finishing, a bottle of wine, a corkscrew, and Evo chips. It's a dinner in a box, a vibe. So their duo gift set is another favorite. Sizzle for cooking, drizzle for finishing, and now it comes in glass. So I use Graza all the time. It makes food taste better and looks great in your kitchen. Go to graza.co/Don. Use the code Don for 20% off of your first order. Support comes from Fatty 15. Now, as you get older, you start paying more attention to your sleep, your energy, your joints, even your lab work, right, from the doctor. I know that I do. And that's why Fatty 15 stood out to me. It is the first new essential fatty acid discovered in over 90 years. It's called C15. It was discovered by Dr. Stephanie Venn Watson while working with the U.S. Navy studying aging dolphins. And since then, More than 100 studies have shown that C15 helps to strengthen cells and slow aging at the cellular level. A lack of C15 can cause cellular fragility syndrome, which affects about 1 in 3 people worldwide. So fatty 15 is vegan, it's patented, and it delivers 3 times the cellular benefits of fish oil. Wow. Personally, I've noticed better sleep and steadier energy. So go to fatty15.com/lemon. Use the code LEMON for an extra 15% off of their 90-day starter kit. And thank you to our sponsors. So now back to the program. As I was saying, can we just stop? If there's anything that can happen out of this, and I know these things come in the news and then they go away, but as the Lemon Nation, we can start it. And I just want to impart this to you. Please stop judging and talking shit about people who have addiction issues or who have mental issues. And I know that's tough. We have to retrain ourselves because it's no different than any other disease or any other. I tell you, like if you broke a finger, you go to the doctor. If you do whatever, if there's something that's broken inside of you, in your brain, I think that you should go to the doctor that can help you deal with that. If you have, and people, I love that, what gets me, not that I love, but what gets me is the people who always talk shit about, well, this person's a crackhead and this person is that, and this person, in the meantime, they're smoking cigarettes. That's addiction, honey. That can kill you faster than drugs. Or they're drinking all the time. Go get me a bottle. That's addiction. So stop judging people who may have mental issues or may be addicted to drugs. And you're addicted to something, addicted to painkillers. But here's the one that gets me. Is the people who talk shit about people who either have drug, alcohol, or other issues, and they are sitting there eating themselves to death. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I love my food. I eat, anything that I'm addicted to is a good food. But I have no other addiction issues. And even that, I'm like, I go, okay, Don. But I can do that because I don't have an addictive personality. And I'm not judging other people who cannot. So everybody has something. So stop it. And if we could take this moment just to remember that, and we need to have these conversations. You may be addicted to food. Someone else may be addicted to cigarettes. Someone may be addicted to cigarettes. The other person may be addicted to alcohol. One person is addicted to alcohol. Another person may be addicted to cocaine. One person addicted to cocaine. Another person may be addicted to sex. Some people are addicted to religion. Some people are addicted to people. I'm just saying. So it's a family tragedy of the worst kind. And this is Rob Reiner and his son, Nick. And they had a project, I think it was called Being Charlie, where they talked about Nick's, it was loosely sort of based on Nick. I think it was like a docuseries or a documentary sort of film. And they worked together to talk about Nick since he was 15, had addiction issues. And then at times he would go missing and he would be homeless for a while in different states sometimes for years. He's 32 when he died. So they've been dealing with this for the better half of 15, 16, 17 years. And so here is Rob Reiner and his son, Nick, talking about the project and addiction and all of those things.
Kid is going through rough times. The parent your main job is to keep your child safe. So I would do anything.
We didn't bond a lot as a kid. Like, he really liked baseball. I like basketball, and he could watch that with my brother, but baseball. But I just, when I saw him do that, and it was something that I'm interested in, I was like, wow, like, he really knows a lot. And like, it made me feel closer to him and be like, yeah.
You're like, wow, my dad's Rob Reiner.
I never had thought about it. And then,
yeah, it didn't cross your mind, right?
Never.
No.
Never watched A Few Good Men. Didn't see that one.
No.
What was the most difficult part about working together for the two of you?
It wasn't very tough. I mean, it was a pretty nice experience for me. I don't really think it was like tough at all.
Really?
I mean, of course it was a little bit, but
I mean, we did get into fights over things, but ultimately it forced us to make the film better. I mean, we get into issues, and I would see, the whole process for me, I can just speak for myself, it did make me understand him a lot more, and I think it made me a better father. Hopefully it did.
I think the bonding came not from the story itself, but from the fact that we were working on a movie together.
So that was him and his son. together. And I think that was around 2015 or 2016 or so when they did that. And he may have even written a book. It's double check that for me, but yeah. And so this is a family tragedy of the worst kind. And so before anyone rushes to judgment or speculation, this story should, and it already forces us to confront some of the things that we don't like talking about. And we don't like talking about mental health addiction, family dynamics, and what happens behind closed doors. And I think that we should not be ashamed of that, because all of us are dealing with something. Fame doesn't protect you from that. Money certainly does not protect you from that. If anything, fame and money can exacerbate the situation. Being beloved doesn't protect you from that, because that can exacerbate the situation as well. It happens in wealthy neighborhoods. And this one happened in one where people associate that with safety. And then something goes terribly wrong inside of a family. And also, I talk to you when I do the Better Health things. I talk to you about I try to put in there something about the holidays, because the holiday season, this matters, because for a lot of people, this is a time of year that turns the volume up on everything, on stress, on old wounds, on grief, on depression, on addiction. People are drinking more, they're eating more, all of these things. And you feel like you have to keep up. You got to spend a lot of money on gifts and all. It can be really stressful. People feel pressure to be happy when they're not happy, to smile when they are struggling, to hide what's really going on because they just don't want to be judged. And sometimes that silence really becomes dangerous. And so sometimes, you have people in your life who are so demanding and so selfish, and they don't even realize it. Like, I have a friend who is, who I believe, and certain friends that I believe, I have a friend now who I believe doesn't understand just how needy they are. You ever have someone who's just needy, and they don't understand that sometimes a person like you or me that everyone goes to, sometimes you are dealing with stuff and you just don't talk about it, or you just don't want to talk, or you just need a timeout. Like, sometimes I don't return your text or your call, or I don't want to go to dinner with you or whatever. It's not because of you. It's because of me. It's because I need a timeout. I just don't want to talk to anyone, especially this year. I sometimes don't even want to talk to my own mama. My mom's like, why you haven't called me? I'm like, I just can't. She goes, I get it. It's okay, baby. I love you. Call me when you can. She understands. Not everybody can. Why haven't you called me? And they think it's them. It's not you. It's me. I don't feel like it. I can't. I have no more bandwidth. I have nothing to give anybody else. Do you understand that? And so sometimes you just have to let people be. And it'll come back. I have friends that I don't talk to for years. Dear friends. And if I called my friend Greg, my best friend in college, I'm like, hey man, I need you. Boom, he's on a plane immediately, right away. And all we do throughout the year sometimes is text over LSU football games. But he knows I love them. But then there's some people just like, why haven't you called me? I love it. Why? And you're like, God damn it. Like, what? Do you know what I'm saying? And especially like now, like, I'm dealing with an aging mother. I'm dealing with, I'm away from my family. Both of my siblings died, and like the memories, the people that I have the longest memories with are no longer here. And especially around the holidays, like around Thanksgiving and all, like I want to like call them and say, oh my gosh, remember this, we used to dance to this Christmas song or whatever. And I can't, they're not there anymore. And so I just don't feel like talking. And so you have to understand that it's not just about you all the time. And if someone thinks like, oh my gosh, this person doesn't call me back and it makes me feel bad. It's like, well, why do you feel bad that someone is like, it's not, maybe they just need a break. So this is not about shaming a family. It's about asking why we still make it so hard for people to say we need help. Why is it so hard for that? Why is it so hard to let people be? And why is it so hard to have empathy and to meet people where they are? Now I want to talk about Brown University, okay? Oh man, this story is still unfolding and it is really heartbreaking because the shots rang out on campus. This was in the middle of the day on a college campus, Brown, Ivy League. It wasn't late at night. I think it was off campus. I think it was, no, it was like, I thought it was like 4 a.m, not in the middle of the day. It was like 4 something in the morning. And it was, I have a friend whose son goes to Brown and was just 2 blocks away and they were on lockdown. It's where these kids live and learn. Okay, here's the report.
Overnight, a stunning development in the ongoing investigation into the deadly shooting at Brown University.
We know that this is likely to cause fresh anxiety for our community.
Authorities releasing the man they had detained and initially called a person of interest in the shooting that killed 2 and left 9 injured.
We didn't have enough, obviously, to be able to prosecute anybody, and so the person was released.
Hours before the announcement, I spoke with the police chief.
How confident are you that you have the suspect?
Oh, I'm pretty confident.
On Saturday, authorities released this surveillance video that shows the potential shooter walking away from the crime scene. Police say the unidentified subject in that video remains a person of interest in this case. This new video shows terrified students hiding in the library before police stormed the room. The shooting occurred Saturday afternoon inside an academic building on the Ivy League campus as students were studying for final exams.
There's people rushing past me, but I didn't realize what was going on.
Brown University junior Amith Chintilapati was walking through campus when he saw his classmate lying on the ground shot.
How did you comfort your friend?
Just kept telling him he was okay and to breathe and just wait for the EMTs to arrive.
His classmate is in stable condition and recovering in the hospital. And now the victims being remembered. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt sharing a tribute to student Ella Cook. Cook's church also honoring her on Sunday.
She was an incredible, grounded, faithful, bright light.
And so there are 2 students that are dead. 9 others are injured in this. Young people should not be worried about this. They should be worried about finals, about papers, about, oh, my grades, about dating, whether their flight home is going to be delayed, about seeing their families for Christmas or Hanukkah or the winter break. That's what they should be worrying about. And instead, they are running, they're hiding, they're locking their doors, they're sending texts to say that, I'm okay, and hoping that they get back. So as you saw in the report, they briefly detained a person of interest and then they released them. And right now there's still uncertainty as I am reporting this. Let me know if there's something else. Maybe there's an update, but there's still uncertainty and there's still fear here. And there should be fear because in these situations, there are people, these kids, some of them survived high school shootings. And then it happened to them again in college. There's one young lady who survived the Parkland shooting. Watch.
I'm numb, but I'm also really angry. I think the sadness will set in when we, get all the victims identified and find out who we lost as a community. But right now, I'm just angry that there's kids like me in this country who have had to go through this not once, but twice. I can't even put into words how frustrating it is. And I think that the common denominator around all of that is inaction on the part of Congress. I think that we've seen time and time again, Congress has failed to show that they actually care about their constituents. And if they did, they would immediately pass comprehensive gun violence prevention bills. The first person I called was my mom, which was the same thing that happened with Parkland. Just seeing her go through those emotions all over again makes me feel so bad for her. And I think it feels like I'm 12 again. And I think it feels like it's 2018 again for my family as well. We're going through the exact same emotions.
That fear does not disappear just because the sirens stop, just because the news cameras go away. It doesn't just, and time doesn't make that fear disappear. Can you imagine these students are trying to sit in classrooms while their bodies are still on high alert and knowing that some of their classmates or friends may be gone and then finding out later? That makes every noise that you hear louder, and probably every stranger they feel suspicious, and every time you're in a place you probably are looking around. And so that student from Parkland isn't the only one. There's also a college student from California also survived a high school shooting, and then this one here.
I was 15 years old on November 14th of 2019. I was a freshman at Saugus High School. I walked into the school like every other day, and a student I didn't know brought his father's .45 caliber ghost gun and shot me and 4 others before killing himself in a matter of 8 seconds.
When the shooting at Brown occurred, how did you hear about it?
Kind of in my head, there was no chance there was actually a shooter. It was when we got hundreds of texts saying active shooter on campus, active shooter on campus. We knew it was real. I was terrified and confused and kind of just disgusted that this could happen not only once in a lifetime, but twice. All acts of gun violence are completely 100% preventable. To know that this has happened twice in 2 different communities I've been a part of is terrible. I came to Brown because I wanted to get away from what had happened to me, and I wanted to be able to live my life without constantly thinking about this, and now it's followed me here. I was one of the people talked about in a press conference 6 years ago in critical condition, and now there's 8 more of those, and I'm scared for Brown's community. I'm scared to continue my education. How is anyone supposed to learn if they're afraid they're going to be shot?
And this is where guns and mental health intersect in a very, very real way. We talk about gun violence like it is separate from mental health. It is not. And we can handle both of them. We talk about mental health like it's like an excuse for this. Mental health is not an excuse for this. But I can tell you, more so than mental health, we can deal with mental health, but on top of the mental health, we have something that is very wrong and backwards in this country. Because on top of the mental health, we have people who have access to guns who should not. And we have so many guns, more guns than there are people in America. And if you look at the rate of gun violence here, it doesn't happen in any other developed nation. It's only here. And the only difference is the guns. Every different place on earth has mental health. Every single place on earth has mental health. Every single health issues. Every single place. Every single place on earth has stress, worry, anxiety, depression. Human beings, that's part of being a human being. But not every place on earth has so many guns and such easy access. And so we talk about addiction like it's a moral failure. It is not. These things are connected. And this is happening right now before the holidays, at the time when anxiety and depression are already spiking, especially for young people. And we just ask them to push through it. Finish your exams. Be resilient. But resilience doesn't mean that you are unaffected. It just means that you're surviving. And then there is Australia. And before I get to this attack, which is tragic, it's tragic, and then there's a heroic part of it as well. First, a word from our sponsors. Today's show is sponsored by MSI Reproductive Choices. They provide contraception, safe abortion, and essential reproductive health care in 36 countries. Now, in many of those places, they are the only provider. This has been a really brutal year for women and girls worldwide. International aid has been cut, clinics have closed, options are disappearing. MSI prepared for this by diversifying their funding, but they still lost $15 million. And yet, because donors stepped up, millions of women still have access to care. This is about choice. It's about dignity. And it's about healthcare being a human right. If you want to help, Text LEMON to 511-511 or go to msiunitedstates.org. For $65, you can provide contraception for 10 women for an entire year. Text LEMON to 511-511. Text fees may apply. Support for the show comes from Aura Frames. Now, every year I say that I'm going to give meaningful gifts, and every time, well, it gets away from me every year. Aura Frames solves that for you. Aura Frames lets you give photos and videos of the people you love, beautifully displayed in one frame. It's personal without being complicated. So they're easy to use. Just connect to Wi-Fi and upload photos straight from your phone using the Aura app. You can even preload photos before the frame arrives, so it's ready right out of the box. Every frame comes in a premium gift box with no price tag, so you can't wrap togetherness, but you can frame it. Go to auraframes.com and get $35 off of the Carver matte frame with the promo code Don Lemon. That's auraframes.com, promo code Don Lemon. Thanks to our sponsors. Yes, thank you so much to our sponsors. Now, let's go to Australia. Because this story should shake everyone. And I want people to listen very closely to me. This happened on Bondi Beach. I don't know if you've ever been to Australia. Bondi Beach is big. Australia, it's like a huge place that everyone goes or whatever. It's like, I don't know, I guess the equivalent of going to Venice Beach or, going to Miami. I don't know. On Bondi Beach, people gather to celebrate Hanukkah. Families, children, candles, right? A moment about light and faith and survival, and then violence erupts. And let me be very clear about this. This is anti-Semitic. There's no dancing around that. People are killed, dozens are injured. And what stands out is this reporting, to me, is that there is a hero in all of this. Because even though it's anti-Semitism that is believed to be the cause of this, or at least what spurred this, this is not an indictment on all Muslims, because this is a man who was not Jewish and was believed to be Muslim, who helped to save lives and was shot in the process. There is a man there. He sees what's happening. He runs toward it. He helps disarm one of the gunmen, and then he stops more people from being killed. Do we have the video of him?
It's in the report.
Okay, here's the report.
Australia's Jewish community in mourning and the nation in shock after a seaside celebration of the Festival of Light became one of the darkest days in Australian history. Two gunmen opened fire on a peaceful Hanukkah gathering. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation says police identified the gunman as Sajid Akram, who died at the scene, and his 24-year-old son Naveed, who remains in custody at the hospital. Authorities saying the younger man's name had come up in a previous investigation in 2019. The massacre claimed 15 lives, a 10-year-old girl, a former police officer, two well-known rabbis.
The life was like leaving him, and then he just went.
Also killed, an 87-year-old Holocaust survivor who came to this idyllic spot to find peace and whose last act was to shield his wife. The horror attack has left dozens in the hospital. But officials say it would have been worse if not for Ahmed Al-Ahmed. The Sydney shopkeeper and Syrian immigrant tackled a gunman single-handed. He remains in the hospital after being shot, his parents proud. Hailed as a hero around the world.
And saved a lot of lives, so very brave person.
Some here asking how the alleged gunman amassed an arsenal in a country famous for strict gun control. Australia's Prime Minister today says laws may need to be even tougher and that more will need to be done to help the nation's Jewish community. A prominent Jewish leader here, whose friend died in the attack, says his community has been warning the government of a dangerous rise in anti-Semitism.
I can't imagine a time when the Jewish community feels safe without looking over their shoulders.
The vigil continues at Bondi as those here grieve that the most famous beach in Australia is now also the most notorious.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I mean, what a mess. and how sad it is for all the people who lost their lives. Now, that man is a hero. He gets shot. And right now he is fighting for his life. Now think about that. In the middle of all the hate, someone chooses courage. And that doesn't really happen that much anymore. All you do, you see people like, you see someone fighting or something happening, and people are just like out there with their phones taping it. And you're like, are you going to help? Are you going to, I can't tell you what to do. I know people feel like their lives are in jeopardy or whatever, but I'm the kind of person that would try to help. In the middle of the chaos, someone chooses to protect strangers. That's huge. And still, the cost is enormous there. And this happened as Hanukkah begins, as Christmas approaches. And these are two holidays that are centered on light. And instead, these communities are grieving. Anti-Semitism, make no mistake about it, everyone. It is on the rise. And that's just a fact. It's louder, it's more open, it's more dangerous. You cannot ignore it in this one. And when hate is allowed to grow unchecked, it's not just going to stay online, it's going to show up in real life. Now, let's talk about Australia, because I hear the gun rights NRA heads are like, see, it can happen in Australia. Let's just show, this is the rate of gun deaths per 100,000 people. And this was 2019. It's probably gone up since then. No, I just want you to look at that. Don't compare Australia or any other country to us. Don't even try it. It just makes you look stupid and dumb. Australia did a gun buyback it was in 1996. There's significant national programs, most famously the 1996 mandatory buyback after the Port Arthur massacre, which removed 650,000 newly banned firearms. And more recent, state-level voluntary schemes like Western Australia's 2024 initiative offering compensation for unwanted firearms to reduce gun violence and unregistered weapons, leading to major firearm removals and ongoing debates about their effectiveness in reducing deaths. And Australian officials, did you hear that? They said that they're even considering stricter gun legislation. What would we do? Now is not the time to talk about that. They're trying to take our guns away. They want to get rid of our Second Amendment rights. Let's make gun laws even laxer. I mean, it's just so stupid, people. You can't even compare. I thought something maybe would happen after Charlie Kirk's death, or they would go, oh, okay, wow, this is some bullshit. Look, the stuff that he talked about, and now he's a victim of it. Maybe we need to rethink all of this. But instead, they just double down. It's just bizarre. And this is the whole right to life crowd. If you have a right to life, then you have a right not to be gunned down in public. So when you step back and you look at all of these things together, all of it together, let me make sure that I played everything that I wanted to play. I think so. And you look at all these things together, you see a through line, because you see their guns, right? Hate, mental health, addiction, and stigma. So much stigma. We are so afraid of being judged. We're so afraid of what people are going to say, so afraid of admitting something is wrong, so afraid of changing our minds over gun laws. And well, maybe it will work. Because look, if it doesn't work, then you can change the legislation and go back to it. People aren't going to stop manufacturing guns. We fight each other instead of dealing with real problems. We politicize everything. Everything is polarized. We turn suffering into talking points. And in the meantime, people are dying. Students, families, communities, cultural icons like Rob Reiner. And it does not have to be this way. It really doesn't. Common sense is not radical. Compassion is not weakness. Asking for help doesn't mean that you're a failure. So if we could just stop fighting each other long enough to agree on some of the basics, that guns should not be this easy to access, common sense, that hate should be confronted early on, that it should not be proliferated on the internet, that there should be content moderation around people who are preaching hate and bigotry and racism and all of those things. And we should not have a president who is the biggest hate monger of them all, who is the grossest, vilest, and sickest of them all. And it would seem that he's dealing with some mental health issues. Mental health and addiction should be treated like health issues, not shameful secrets. Because it's just, that's the part that's going to get people killed, is the secrets. We may not stop, we can't stop every tragedy. But we have to stop pretending that this is normal. And this morning, that's all that I'm asking you. Stop pretending this is normal. Let's stop accepting that this is as the cost of doing nothing. Because the cost of doing nothing is too much. If you'd like to know anything about the program, you can go to donlemon.com. If you want to know anything about this program, go to donlemon.com. And you can click on the watch button, and it'll take you to one of our main channels on YouTube, or you can click on any of the ones below that. Click on YouTube, you can subscribe, and you can become a member. That's how we stay viable. Subscriptions are free. It costs you nothing. You can become a membership, and that basically costs you nothing either. If you actually look at our memberships, you'll be like, you know what? I should be a member. I should join. And then just go back out of it. And I just want to tell you, because I don't want to seem like I'm partial to any one of the sites, but if you go down on the thing, you can click on the last one over to the right, which is, it looks like a little message thing. That's Twitch. And so check us out on Twitch. And there you can see us. There we are, live on Twitch right now. And you can also go to our Substack as well. You can join us on Substack. And there's our Substack. And we are also live on the Substack right now with the Hot Topics. And those are 3 of the platforms that we're on: YouTube, Substack, Twitch. And we're also live on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So make sure you like and subscribe to all of those. And that's great. Like I said, the subscriptions they don't cost you anything. Also, at the top of this donlemon.com page is where we're going to be on New Year's. And that is trying to ring in a better year and get rid of some of the negativity. We're going to shake off the funk, and we're going to bring it in something positive. And we're going to start being more positive in the new year. Let's start bringing more hope to each other. And that's why I'm so glad that this is a community. It's so different than just any other channel. This has become a community. And so just click. And if you want to come to New Orleans, you can. We're going to be live on New Year's Eve. If you can't come to New Orleans, make sure you, New Orleans is a VIP experience. You'll get to, it's open bar. It's going to be fun and great. If you're watching, you can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Twitch. You can watch us on Substack. You can watch us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all those. But try to come over to one of our main channels and watch us there. Okay, become a subscriber and a member. Okay, and then go back out of that, Andy. And I just want to tell people, I want to go to the merch store. Go to donlemon.com and go to the merch store. You guys have been buying up the store has been going nuts. It's great. And so I have the tumbler here. I love this tumbler. This little purple tumbler. And the holiday mug that we have right here with that. People love this. And also, whoa, almost dropped it. And our ornament. This is the last day, I believe. Today is the last day that you can order and get your stuff in time for Christmas, okay? And one of the last days, if not the last day. So make sure you get it in today If you want to get the ornament, people love this ornament. I've been giving it as a present, and people put it on their tree right away. They love it. And then, so it has my little face with glasses on, and then it's got the Don Lemon Show on there. It says the Don Lemon Show. And so you can buy the ornament. You can get the other stuff. And also, Andy, do we have the holiday or the New Year's box? There is a New Year's Eve gift set. There it is, party pack that you can celebrate with us on New Year's Eve. And it'll come with a special message from me, not like just a generic message that I send to everyone. It'll be a personal message to each of you from me. But also you get the napkins, you get the little party favors, and you get the glass of champagne. And it'll be fun. You can celebrate the New Year with us. And also, if you are having a Don Lemon New Year's Eve watch party, let us know, because we'd love to put you on. We'll come and we'll link into your party and put you on the TV or on the stream. Okay? So I hope I didn't depress you too much with the stories, but I just wanted to let you know what's going on. My heart goes out to the Reiner family and all of the friends and all the people who are mourning their loss. Also to the kids and the families at Brown University, students, faculty, staff, all of that, and the folks in Australia. And so last night was the first night of Hanukkah. Let's remember our Jewish brothers and sisters are dealing with anti-Semitism right now and always. And let's try to be with each other instead of against each other or divided. Don't be like the president. Don't be like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is an angry loser of a person, and you don't want to emulate him. So let's try to do the opposite of what he does, and let's come together and be kind to each other, okay? So until I see you back here this evening at 5 p.m. Eastern time on the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon channel, we'll show some of the merch photos then a little bit later on today. But here's what I want you to do. Turn the TV off. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern time with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.